Hey folks, I'm here with my good buddy James Campbell-Brigger. We were just talking about one of the problems with win-loss analysis. Um, as the founder of this company and the person who I just feel so passionate about getting insights and delivering insights that are new and actionable and can really help change a business. One of the pieces of feedback that I get frequently is that when we deliver the win-loss analysis, is that it validated things that we already knew. And I have to admit, I've lived with some anxiety about that. It's like, is all we're doing is validating things? And there are certainly projects and situations where we come up with wholly new concepts and wholly new insights and wholly new ways of organizing your thinking about your market, your buyer, your persona, and so on. And in fact, that's the origin of the name Eigenworks, is about finding that fundamental direction in your business, in your world. I'll talk about that in another video. But I wanted to talk about the value of validation. We're working up an article on this right now, and James is here. We're at the whiteboard, and so I just thought I'd record some of my thoughts, starting with the phrase, "I knew that already." The question is, or did I? And did I really believe it? And did we all believe the same thing? So I was recently visiting a client in Boulder, and I think they're going to go on the record with some of this thinking, but until then, I'm going to just keep it as the client in Boulder. I was sitting down with them after a pretty substantial project that they did with us, and they talked about how the findings validated some of the things that they already knew. So I admitted to my friend, now the CEO, and said, I have to admit, I said, I feel some disappointment when you say that this validated what you already knew. And his response was, no, you have to realize the value of validation. So I said, as a true interviewer, as a true student of people's values and motivation, I said, what is it about validation that is valuable to you? And so he shared some things with me, and that's what we're going to be developing in this article. It'll be coming out soon. Some of it will be more general, and then we're hoping that he's going to go on the record with some of this stuff as well. And if so, you'll see that in the article. So let me tell you some of the highlights. First of all, the statement, "I knew that." You engage, if it's you doing it, or you're engaging us or a firm to do win-loss analysis, or you're getting research to help you make decisions confidently and align your teams. And you get the research you say it confirmed what we already knew or believed. So what does that really mean? First of all, I think it's easy to say we knew that in advance. Did we? And then the other question is, did we believe it? Did I really believe it? In other words, when I put money on this belief, or if I took it to my executive team, could I get the investment support that I needed to make this action as a result of that belief? Or if I'm a CEO and I have my belief about something, and even though I might know it in my heart, can I really convince my board that it's worth investing in? Or can I get my teams, if I'm a CEO, if I'm a leader, if I'm leading customer success, if I'm a product officer, if I'm a VP of development, if I'm a leader of any sort, can I persuade my teams that what I believe and what I know is true, and therefore we should build product to support this. We should build a go-to-market motion. We should reposition our product. We should change the way we sell, and so on. And so there's a big gap between I knew that and, you know, before the fact, did I believe it enough to put money on it myself or to convince and align others? And in this particular meeting, maybe the second point was that they said there's a graveyard full of logos of companies who believed something that didn't end up being true, or thought they knew something that didn't end up being true, and so they didn't validate. And so there's a huge value in just mitigating risk. But I think the main thing I wanted to talk about is what we actually believed before. Could we align teams, you know, motivate that extra engagement that people give when they're building something that they believe in is a noble, worthy cause? I mean, is this something that we actually know and we actually believe? Okay, so that's part one. The other thing is that, you know, every one of us, I want to make sure I'm still on screen here. Every one of us has, you know, a series of things that we know, little beliefs, little hypotheses, we could call them, you know. And the question, I think, of all of our beliefs is, which ones matter? Which ones are true? Which ones are not true? It might be things that I think are true, but which set of these, if I pick, these are all the things that are true, which set of these, if I pick, are going to have the biggest impact? And what if I could say that those three things, what if by doing a little bit of research, I could say that those are the three things that matter, not all those other things. Those things may also be true, but they contribute less to the central outcome, which we're trying to drive here, like more revenue, better retention, lower churn, better customer sat, better NPS scores, employee engagement, you name it. And if some research can say that those are the three things that matter, that is huge. Okay, so it's picking the three things that matter the most. And then the second big thing is to say that if you have, you know, different people in an organization, some people are going to believe this set of things. Some people are going to believe this set of things, and they might overlap. You know, you might have some people, maybe you have customer success and product marketing who have this in common, and product marketing and product that have something else in common. But what you're doing by developing some objective research is to narrow the focus of everyone and get greater alignment. And now my diagram is going to not work anymore, but essentially you're moving people more towards the center. So imagine you have a bunch of people sitting around a table and they have overlapping beliefs, but they don't have enough alignment around those central beliefs in order to actually act and work on the same page. And I think one of the values of getting objective research, and specifically research from the mouth of a buyer and the mouth of enough buyers to have a body of evidence and not just a series of anecdotes, probably another topic. If you can pull together that core set of information and say, these are the things that matter, and just pull people a little more towards that center. Imagine the value of a 10% improvement in alignment in, you know, your customer success department, your product marketing group, your development team, and so on, or individuals, maybe executives sitting around a table, or even members of the same team. If you can just tighten that circle of shared understanding by a little bit, what's the impact of doing that differently? And so, yeah, I knew that, sure, I knew that. I also knew that thing over here, but what the objective research and the analysis and insight provided was a way of focusing what mattered and then aligning the team around that core set of ideas, and then we can all execute against that together. It's going to be a lot more fun. I think there's going to be a lot less arguments, and we're going to have a more successful outcome. So that's my current response to we already knew that. We're going to be working that up into an article, and I would love it if somebody has a better version of this diagram out there. But if not, we'll find a way to draw a better version. This is version 1 of the diagram. Before this tape, it was just hand waving, and look, there's already lines on the whiteboard. So, okay, James, we good?
Okay.
Say goodbye. Bye.